Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to do the yoke stitch in Nalbinding. A couple of tips I have before you start with this one is use thick yarn and a thick needle for the first few times you're trying it. I found with thin yarn tension was a bit difficult to get right. And then I would also suggest doing the Oslo stitch first. If this is the first Nalbinding stitch you are learning, it is a little bit more tricky than the Oslo stitch. So I would just suggest getting into grips with that first. Alright, so what you want to do is get 2 or 3 fingers, lay your tail across them, like that. And then you want to go around once and twice. Okay? Then pinch this bit at the top so you have your tail and your 2 loops pinched. And then you want to go through those 2 loops from the back, like so. Twist your needle forward and then under, so you get like a figure of 8 shape on your needle. And then your working yarn, you want to bring that down over your thumb. Yep, this is getting complicated, more complicated than the Oslo stitch already. And then you want to pull your needle through your figure of 8 and underneath that stitch on your thumb. Like so. And then you get this loop on your thumb and you get a loop behind. So we'll go for this top loop here. So just like in the Oslo stitch, you have a thumb loop and you have a loop behind your thumb. So now what you're going to do is go in from the back of the loop behind your thumb and go straight down underneath the thumb loop and underneath your working yarn. Leave your needle sat there for a little bit and slip this stitch off of your thumb while your needle is still next to your thumb, and then pull through. So I'll show you that again. You go in from the back, underneath your thumb stitch and your working yarn, take that stitch off your thumb and pull your needle through. So this is a little more long-winded than the Oslo stitch, but once you get used to it, you'll get into a nice flow with it. So in from the back, underneath those 2, slip your stitch, and there you go. Now once you've got this sort of action practiced and down to the T, you again will go into on the back, go underneath both, and then when you pull the stitch off, you can tighten it with your working yarn. So you can tug on this to tighten your stitches and then pull your needle through. It all depends on how tight you want your stitches. If you want a nice loose stitch, then you don't have to do that tightening. I personally don't do it. But if you want a nice tight stitch, then I would recommend doing that. So if any of you are aware of the Jorvik sock, this is actually the stitch that was used to make that, obviously in much finer yarn. And that is Europe's only surviving Viking sock, I believe. It's very awesome. It's also still red, which is pretty cool. So as you can see, the stitches are starting to form on the back. This one also twists quite a lot. If I let go, you can see how quickly it's twisted. So when you're starting your second row, you just want to make sure that you've flattened it all out. Like so. And if you forget to take your first stitch off, you can do it afterwards, but it doesn't always end up so well. But if you forget, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world, it just means you might have an extra tight stitch to deal with. So as you can see, I kind of have enough to start the second row now. So as with the Oslo stitch, you want to bring the end around, make sure it's all nice and flat. And now these are the stitches that you will be going into. You can pick up 1 or 2. I would probably recommend picking up 2 for your first row. So you will go into 2 on the back, through the loop on the back of your thumb, and through those 2. So it's exactly the same stitch. You're just picking those 2 up on the top row first. And then you can go ahead and keep picking up 2. So you can pick up a new stitch and the a stitch from the previous one. So pick up 2. Go in and down. And I keep forgetting to take that top loop off. Let's see if I can do it properly this time. So pick up the 2 stitches. Nestle your needle next to your thumb, take that one off, and then pull. And there you go, that is pretty much how you do the York stitch. And again, as you can see, this goes around in a spiral like the Oslo stitch, so you can use it for socks, jumpers, gloves, anything you want really. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you have any questions or want me to go over anything a bit more clearly, do let me know in the comments below, and if not, I hope you found this video useful, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!